Hello, America. Dave Hodges here. I'm the host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America. One, and well, let's try this again. A little glitch there. This is the Common Sense Show. I'm your host, Dave Hodges. We're freeing America one enslaved mind at a time, and we had a little bit of delay there in our equipment. We've had a lot of issues lately, but we'll leave that aside. We're going to stay on a topic. We do not need a ground invasion of Iran. It's going to trigger World War III. I'll get into the reasons why. And the organization that's right at the forefront for promoting this to the public, and particularly the people in the age of the people that'll be fighting this war, is TPUSA. And I would like to just leave them in the rearview mirror. TPUSA 2.0 is not Charlie's organization. They can't be trusted. They're not honest. They break the law at several turns. That's been pointed out with their finances. And they keep engaging behaviors that are deceitful. And we're going to point it out because we need to discredit them because their intentions are not in the best interest of the United States. It is not in our best interest to fight a ground war that could result in a nuclear conflict. And this is where it's headed. Yeah, I played Stephen Banoon's piece from Israeli Alive. I tell you, we are in some difficulty. Anyway, I'm going to show you who our sponsor is here, and it's something that I don't talk enough about. And it's the idea of frequency-based intervention on how you feel and how you're functioning. And in particular, I'm talking about the good people at Body Align. And, I use some of their products. I reinforced my phone with a patch that limits EMF. I don't want glioblastoma. I also, too, I don't need the sleep patch. I would use it if I needed it, but there's that. There's the energy band, and I wear it frequently, but I don't have to wear it as much as I did. It just, I like boosters, but if you wear it to bed, good luck trying to get to sleep because it works. And these technologies are all frequency based, every one of them, frequency based, including pain relief. Frequency-based treatment is now all the rage in natural health care and medical health care. And right now, you can get on the ground floor of this, save 15% with products that work. Go to bodyalign.com. That's ALIGN, bodyalign.com/Dave Hodges. That's bodyalign.com/Dave Hodges. Well, we're going to play a couple of things here back to back. This is pretty upsetting stuff. We know that some time ago, when people were questioning Erika Kirk's ability to be CEO, questioning her integrity, character, background, lies about her background that had been exposed, and the organization responded with an audio tape that said Charlie bequeathed the position to her. Well, before I even play this clip, what I'm going to tell you is that Charlie couldn't bequeath anything. This was a corporation. The board would make that decision. Now, Charlie can make a recommendation. That's absolutely factual. But the bottom line is, he didn't have the authority to pass the torch. And yet, this is how TPUSA is trying to pass this along. Hey, listen, there are so many things that are coming out now about Charlie's last days. Um, Charlie revealed to Tucker he was afraid. He told people that I've talked to inside of TPUSA at the time that he felt that he was in danger. He knew all these things. And when they took him to the Hamptons, it was get in line or else. And that was from the Zionist donors. Well, we've got now TPUSA responding with an audio saying, I appoint Erika to take over in case something happens to me. And the audio was shaky at best. And people says, oh, no, 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 no. Play the video. And then they used the lie that, oh, it could expose donor presence. And this was at Aspen. Well, now we see in the video, donors weren't exposed. And what you're going to see in the video is a bunch of crap. It's AI. I'm not an expert, but I can see AI. They got multiple cuts. You can see it's not well done. Charlie has a droopy eye. You look at his digits. The lips don't sync. Let's just take a look. And they mask it all over with loud music. You think they'd want just a standalone statement from beginning to end, and they don't give you that.
The most important relationship in your life is the one that you have with your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
His passion was my passion, and now his mission is my mission.
I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me.
What? You notice how instantaneous this was? And people that have slowed it down and broken it down, it's a problem. People aren't buying this crap. And I look at this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying, okay, we're going to go and look at something else here. And Travis posted this. The droopy eye, the lips don't sync with the words. Let's just watch it.
I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me.
You want to see it again?
My wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me.
His lips were still moving as he was done talking, but his lips were still moving. To me, the editing is off the charts, sloppy. You think they, with all the millions they take in, they could afford to hire editors that could do skilled things. But there's more. There's more we're going to look at. Okay, things like this are floating around out there. And before I go to the content of this, let me remind you, probably the greatest ally America has in Congress, Thomas Massie, won't be there in 6 months. Why? Because Zionist donor, Israeli citizen, Miriam Adelson, gathered $32 million and contributed to a District 4 in Kentucky congressional primary race that defeated Thomas Massie because of his opposition to the war. Well, her name has surfaced again with regard to Charlie and facts surrounding Charlie Kirk's demise. And we know Charlie was moving away from Israel, and 2.0 now went the other way. But he said, Netanyahu, I'm not taking your $150 million. No, we're not coming to Israel. No, we're pivoting. Goes on PBD show and blasts Netanyahu for genocide in Gaza. He even said that one day in the museums for Holocaust, they'll have to talk about Gaza. Tucker Carlson's echoed that claim. Now let's take a look at what this person found that's running over on Sam Parker's site.
I'd like to know if the Adelsons are the kind of people that would be able to offer Charlie hundreds of millions of dollars. First of all, they live in Vegas, okay? Which, by the way, we've been looking at Vegas too. Here's right now, a live look. This is right now, today, June 6th. They're in Vegas. There they are. There's all of their aircraft that are associated with them. They are usually in Vegas or Singapore. They are not usually in our greatest ally, and they're not usually in Cyprus. And I'm like, has anyone checked in the Google Trends if there's anything in Vegas? Has anyone checked in the Google Trends if there's anything in Singapore? That would be my next move, is to be like, are the Google Trends following a person or group of people who would have the self-importance to think that they could get away with such a thing? And they are generally at their home base where they live. They do have a property in our greatest ally. They have absolutely no ties to Cyprus. Why are they always there? And why are they always there on the day that the Google Trends are happening?
No. It's interesting here too. There's a demonstration of several links between Miriam Adelson's private planes and Google searches from Cyprus, our greatest ally, leading Anna to point out that Andrew Colvett used to work for Miriam Adelson. What do you think about that? Andrew Colvett worked for Miriam Adelson. And let's just assume for a second there was an external plot, foreign, that Joe Kent was looking at, right? The director of counterterrorism, before he was fired for looking into this. Let's just assume that there was foreign influence in Charlie's demise. Connect the dots, people. Connect the dots. And they can't even lie about their lies effectively. Charlie never appointed Erika by proxy to take over if something happened to him. This is just too convenient. And you look at all the other stuff that has happened, the bottom line is this organization needs to be called out for what they are because they represent a direct existential threat to every young person in America that could serve and be boots on the ground in Iran and die for Israel, which is what Miriam Adelson wants. By the way, also too from this site, I didn't cover this. They even Googled the hospital where they took Charlie, the farthest one away in the region, by the way. Why would they do that? Good question. Additionally, there's a TikToker that took that fake recording of Charlie Kirk allegedly appointing Erika to take over in case something happened to him. And the person was doing a story to discredit the video as being fake AI. So, what happened to the TikToker? Well, she had her post removed, and the reason was TikTok does not accept AI concoctions and videos about public figures. Need we say more? And there's so many experts that have looked at this. They keep lying about their lies. And ladies and gentlemen, they need to be thoroughly discredited. If we had an administration that wasn't joined at the hip with them, they'd be in jail for the stuff that Wolves and Finance pointed out with regard to their money mismanagement. I'm still waiting for an explanation about how millions of dollars went to a UPS drop box at a strip mall in Queen Creek, Arizona, and State Senator Jake Hoffman routinely picked it up. What was the service for? We don't know. I'm Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show.